Hey there YouTube, NorCal Prepper 22 here. Gonna start a video series on my take and my opinion on the bug out bag, and I'm gonna do this video here on a budget bug out bag. I'm kind of aiming to do a setup here that's gonna cost the average Joe about $100. So just a basic, very basic bug out bag. To literally live up to what the bug out bag is for, and that's to get you by for 72 hours. That's right, 3 days, 3 nights, that's it. Not a whole lot of creature comforts, not a whole lot of unnecessary items that are going to weigh you down. Just a basic bag and a few essential items. So let's get started. And we're going to start looking just at the bag. For this video, I chose an old Swiss Gear 2-pouch, 1 mini pocket with a hydration bladder setup backpack. Just a normal backpack, 2 shoulder straps with a cross strap chest support. That's it. I chose this bag because you can walk into a Big 5, a Walmart, anywhere, and pick up a similar bag for about 30 bucks. So there you go, 30 bucks and you can have a bag. And if you're wondering about the durability and the toughness of these bags, I've had this bag almost 10 years. I used this backpack in middle school, in high school. I've taken it on camping trips. It's a tough little backpack. So, reliability, toughness, inexpensive price. Part of the reasons I chose it. Other part of the reason, mentioned, it's got a hydration bladder compartment. I don't have a bladder in it at the moment. My old bladder broke and I haven't replaced it yet, but I can carry a bladder. And on the sides, like a lot of backpacks, it's got little net pockets for holding water bottles. So I can carry a decent amount of water in this bag. It's also got the tightening straps here on the side for keeping everything tight, and also for strapping other things too. So I like that. It's a versatile backpack. I can carry it the way it sits here with the few items I have in it and collect more on the way and still have room. It's a very comfortable backpack. The hydration bladder compartment's got padding here for the back, so it doesn't hurt too bad. The shoulder straps, durable, but padded. So let's get into the bag and what we have. In the small little compartment here, I just have one item, and it's a pretty important item if you're bugging out and you're going to go out in the woods. Pocket knife, or any sort of knife. A knife is an invaluable tool when you are out in the woods. There's lots of things you can need for it. Or, excuse me, lots of things you could use it for. Sorry, long day. And it's just a basic knife here. You've got a knife blade, saw blade, all kinds of things you can use it for: spear fishing, spear hunting, making shelter, traps, all kinds of stuff. So, knife can be invaluable, and you can buy these things for like 10 bucks. In the secondary compartment, I just have some basic toiletries and personal hygiene products. Got a package of tissue here. You know, tissue. It's lightweight. It's small and compact. It's easier than carrying a roll of toilet paper. It's about the same as carrying a tube of Camper's toilet paper, but a lot cheaper. So, basic thing, pocket tissues. Got a little plastic bag here with travel toothbrush, toothpaste, and a little Ziploc baggie with some pain meds, anti-allergy meds, and some cold and fever reducer. Just a good idea to have a little bit of over-the-counter meds with you. You never know if you might get sick, or maybe bust your hand up or your foot hiking, and you're in some pain and you need a little pain relief. So it's a good idea to have. Next thing on the hygiene list is a bar of soap. Just a good idea. There are just so many infections and diseases and germs you can get from not staying clean. So good idea to have some soap with you. Keep yourself clean. The next thing we have are some little medication creams. We have antibiotic and pain relief cream. So if you get a cut, a scrape, a bite, you can clean it off, you know, and put some of this ointment on, keep it from getting infected. We have some anti-itch relief. You know, if you get poison oak, bug bite, mosquito, bee sting, you know, keep you from scratching your arm off. And the other thing is a tube of chapstick. Tube of chapstick come real handy. It's really painful when you get some nasty, you know, wind cracked, sun blistered chapped lips. So chapstick comes in handy. So those are just some basic toiletries and hygiene products. Keep that in the secondary compartment. In the primary compartment, we have, we're going to start off with cooking. This is your basic Boy Scout Coleman mess kit. They're like $7, $8 at the sporting goods store. It's made of aluminum. It's really light. If you're going to cook with it, it's a good idea to just set up some sort of grill or rack, because while this does take heat pretty well, you don't want to sit it directly, you know, over the fire. I'm not going to disassemble it, but I'll tell you that it's got the frying pan, the plate, a pot, and a cup, and inside I've got some tea bags, some salt and pepper packets, and some hot sauce. Just some basic add-ons and a little bit of nice things to eat and drink when I'm out in the woods. Next we're going to go to the food. I'm going to delve into that a little more. Canned foods do not work in bug-out bags. They're too heavy, they're too bulky, they don't store, you know, comfortably in the bag. Stay away from canned foods. Secondly, top ramen doesn't really work in a bug-out bag. It gets easily crushed, the packages are torn, so best to stay away from those two. There are things that work. MREs work, especially if you take them out of the box and put them in a bag, but they can take up, you know, an MRE, depending on what type of MRE it is, can take up a whole Ziploc bag, and that's just supposed to be one meal, so it doesn't really, for me, that's just too much space. But some things that work are the packages of fish. They're freeze-dried packages of pink salmon, tuna. I think you can even get chicken. And they're just a packet about yay tall, yay wide, about yay thick. And they're just tear packages, and they usually have a shelf life of about 2-3 years. So those work. For me, since in my bug out, especially if you've seen my budget SHTF and bug out weapons video, I'm going to take a .22 rifle along with me in my bug out, so I'll be able to hunt for small game and bird. So the food I have in my bag is just food if I can't find anything to hunt, or just as kind of a side dish with what I've caught. And so what I'm carrying, because again the bug out bag is just designed to get me along for 72 hours. I got a little Ziploc baggie here, and in it I have a 1-pound bag of kidney beans and a 1-pound bag of brown rice, and then I have my little mess utility kit, or utensil kit, excuse me, spoon, knife, fork that all locks together. I prefer this to any other food because it's got a long shelf life. I think it's about 2-3 years. These bags here cost me about 89 cents a bag for, you know, a pound of rice and a pound of beans, and, you know, a half a cup of each into my pot from my mess kit with some water, boil it up, and I'm eating. And you know, it's not bad, especially if I can get some small game, squirrel, rabbit, you know, gopher, what have you along with it. But, you know, it's 2 pounds. 2 pounds of food. It's not going to take up a lot of space. It's not going to weigh me down. So, that's my take on the food. And again, this is just basic on a budget. We're trying to shoot for under $100. So before you go leaving a comment about, you know, what you don't like in the bag, remember, we're shooting for under $100. So, now we're going to talk about 2 things that should be part of the bug out system, but probably not in the bag. One of those things is a canteen. Now earlier I had talked about the bag having a bladder and maybe a couple of water bottles, but I also think it's a good idea that you have water that you can easily carry with a strap, that if for any reason you were separated from your bag or you had to drop your bag, you could have water. So canteen is really good. You know, and these are, you know, just the basic Boy Scout canteen again. You can find these at Big Five, Sportsman's Warehouse, for $6, $7. So not a huge investment, but a good idea to have. And the other thing is, what I think you need in any bug out system, regardless of time of year, whether it be winter, summer, what have you, and more importantly probably than carrying a backpack tent or any sort of tent to weigh down, is a sleeping bag. You can always build a shelter. You know, there's always going to be a tree you can be under, or a lean-to you can make, or a cave you can go into. Some sort of shelter to keep the wind off you, keep the rain off you, or keep the sun off of you. But a sleeping bag is a good thing to have because it gets you off the ground, it keeps you warm, it's something soft to lay on, you know, or you could make the shelter overhead out of the bag, you know, what have you. So the sleeping bag is very handy to have. The bag that it carries itself in can be handy. This is a Northwest Territory, good down to 35 degrees. Up here in Northern California, it gets colder than that, but, you know, with a fire, you know, you can keep yourself warm, but you just want to kind of have a in-the-middle, all-weather sleeping bag that you can have. This thing was about 20 bucks. Again, we're shooting to stay under 100, and we're pretty well at that. You know, we're about right at 100 bucks. So there's that. Now there's one more thing in the bug out bag I want to show you. A lot of people will say, well, this is nice, you got some stuff in there, but you don't have any survival stuff. Well, yeah, you do, but we're trying to keep it compact and basic for either the layman or the person on the budget. So with that, I give you the Coghlan Survival Kit. You can pick these up for around 15, 20 bucks at any sportsman store, and got this nice little little package here. Really nice. I'm not going to open it. I'm actually going to do a video just on this and tear it apart, but I will show you a few things before I put it back. In this kit, you've got a mesh bag, which you can always use a mesh bag for something. You've got a really thin, basic survival guide, which, you know, to the normal outdoorsman, we know everything in this guide. But it's a good thing to have for reference. Maybe you'll forget, maybe you'll panic, maybe you'll get bumped on the head, and you'll need something to remind yourself. So it's got some basics of shelter building, a couple of basic traps, a little bit of first aid, just some basic stuff. But this can be a really helpful guide for anyone who doesn't have outdoor experience or doesn't have that much, or is maybe traveling with somebody in their bug out situation that doesn't have a lot of experience. So this could be good for them. And then you have the bag in a nice little waterproof bag, which again comes in handy. And it's got all kinds of little stuff in there. I'm not going to break it apart in this video, but I will break it apart later. But it's got a poncho, an emergency blanket, some fire sticks, matches, trail tape, glow stick, you know, signaling whistle. It's got all kinds of stuff. You know, your basic survival kit in a little bag, super convenient, doesn't weigh a lot, doesn't take up a lot of space. So there you have it. That is my basic bug out bag setup. Not fancy, doesn't have a lot of things, but you know, for somebody on a budget, or somebody who's just starting out, or somebody who doesn't believe they need a bug out bag but says, oh, maybe I'll get one just to cover myself, that would work just fine. Because remember, it's only keeping you alive for 72 hours. And it doesn't matter how much stuff you have. If you don't have the self-reliance, that's on you. So, thanks for watching the video. Probably my next video will be on the kit. I'm going to take it apart and show you what's in it. So we have more videos coming. Look forward to the comments. We'll talk to you later.